All right, how do you know that what you're giving to your market is actually unique? How do you know that you can differentiate yourself from the competitors? Well, there's a couple of things that I'm going to share with you today that are going to help maybe shift your perspective on how you're positioning yourself so that you can get more clear and you could really define how you're different than the rest of the people in your market. And the first thing we got to focus on, because it's a three-part focus area, it's our philosophy, our methodology, and the tactics. So the first thing we got to break down is the philosophy about what it is that you stand for, right? And so for us, we understand that our whole philosophy is based upon performance maximizing, okay? We've got to maximize performance. We have a performance maximizing philosophy that allows us to not only focus on online sales or offline sales, but also infrastructure, also employee hiring, also, scaling and inside development. There's a lot of things that are, going into production and how to maximize performance. And so that's what we want to focus on. So for us, what we do, you like that was slick. What we do here is we have online, which is PPC, email, social media, SEO, and joint ventures, right? We have all these things that are going on online, which is where a lot of people, they go, okay, well, you know what? Consulting and, whatever it is that you're in, an agency, or if you're providing some type of service like that, they always think, for us specifically, like, okay, well, you only do online. Well, that's not true, because if it was, then how could we actually have a philosophy of performance maximization? We wouldn't be able to say that our philosophy is to maximize performance if all we're doing is focusing on online sales, which is what most consultants and agencies do. And so what we want to do is we want to make sure that we also have another way for us to be able to generate results and to maximize performance. So we have cold calls, we have live events, we have direct mail, we have referral systems set up. And again, we have offline joint ventures, right? So there's a lot of things that we are able to help set up for our clients because we don't only focus on one area. Our philosophy isn't maximizing the digital space, right? Our philosophy is performance maximization. It's a performance maximizing philosophy. And so when we have everything lined up with offline and online tactics, right? So the tactics now come into play, which are what are on the outside, right? So we have our philosophy, we have our methodology, and then we have how we're going to deploy it. So what we have here is now we have a different variant of ways for you to bring in new clients and customers and for us to really focus on performance. What is your philosophy? Once you figure that out, then you can start to build downward the way I'm going to show you right now. Once we have the philosophy created, then we have our methodology, which is VPC, our VPC method. And what that stands for simply is value, pitch, close. A lot of folks, the business owners, the entrepreneurs, they're not doing the necessary work before they ever make the sale, so hence sales are low. And what needs to be done beforehand is you've got to deliver value, goodwill, and build up some sense of care for your market. If not, you're just coming off like everybody else. Why would they go to you if you can't differentiate yourself? Well, number one, you're going to sound like everybody else if you don't know your philosophy. Number two, you're going to sound like everybody else if you don't have a personal methodology. Okay, a personal methodology. And so for us, our process is going to be value, pitch, close. Value, pitch, close. We've got to create the value to earn the right to pitch. Once we earn the right to pitch, we have the skill sets to close. Any one of these things are missing, and your ability to maximize performance goes down the drain, right? So everything's built up around our philosophy. Then what we got to do is once we understand the methodology, how do we actually use the tactics to get this all to work? So what we created is something called nano-targeting. Nano-targeting takes micro-targeting to a whole nother level, okay, without overcomplicating it for you either. And so what we want to do is we want to focus on what nano-targeting really does. So if we were going to break this down for you, right, I wanted you guys to be able to walk away with some notes on this today. If we were going to break this down for you, it's specific geographic and behavior-based targeting to give the most value and best experience to the prospect so you could shrink the sales process by over 500%. Now, that's a fancy way of saying by 5x, right? We just know that if most people are purchasing right around day 90 to 2 years out, we could shrink that by about 5x by giving them the opportunity to get to know you, like you, and trust you in a fashion that gives them an experience that they don't feel bombarded with, right? People hate nowadays the advertisements that come through Facebook or through Instagram or through YouTube that are just buy now, buy now, buy now. What if we could actually deliver value to them without anything in return? Just like, hey, here's something that help you. And then based on behavior, then we can go ahead and say, hey, you know what? Because you said you were interested in this free stuff, you're probably interested in this other thing, which is going to cost you a little bit of time or money. Let's go ahead and get you involved, right? So that's a process there. We want to make sure that we all are building everything up underneath the philosophy. So that nano targeting approach is going to create what we call the nano effect. Okay, so the nano effect is going to be able to put you in a position to control these more intimate segments of your market, so that you could then deliver a higher level of service to them when they need it. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to see that these little buckets here are basically assets within your business that we're helping you create, or that we create for our clients. When you follow this methodology, what's going to happen is you're going to now be in charge, quote unquote, in charge of these assets that you can now create content for, or hire content out for, and then start to really build the value up so that you have now positioned yourself in the market for long term, not the quick dollar that a lot of people are looking for today. If instant gratification is your thing, then everything I just shared with you is not going to be appealing. But if you're somebody who's looking at this going, man, you know what, this makes sense. Positioning yourself today to be in business in 5 years seems like a smart idea. So let me go ahead and take maybe another look at this. Let's walk through it real quick. Give you a recap. Performance maximizing philosophy. You got to understand the philosophy, the methodology, and the tactics. Once you have your philosophy, build your methodology to support that. Then build your tactics to support your methodology. Once you can execute on all of that, you're going to be in a great position. Now, if you would like some help with putting all this together and kind of figuring out how can we get you clear on your methodology, your philosophy, or your tactics, then just go ahead and find the link or the button around this video and let's get together, right? You might want to just comment on this post, but either way, let's get together so that you can get a clear understanding of how you can move your business forward. Not incrementally, but we're talking quantum leaps, okay? So I hope you found some value out of today. Hope you got a better understanding about our philosophy, our methodology, and our tactics. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Take care.